So this sample is the first in the Mesolithic 1 era, a man inhabiting the Rhône River banks. Iboussières25-1, the Rhône Alpes, France. My DNA match is 2.84%. So this sample comes from an Epipaleolithic Western hunter-gatherer man whose remains were discovered in Malataverne commune near the Rhône River in southeastern central France. DNA extracted from his coxal bone shows that he had lived roughly 10,100 years ago. His mitochondrial haplogroup is U5b2a, while his Y-DNA haplogroup is J. The Epipaleolithic period from 20,000 to 10,000 years ago is considered to be the end of the Upper Paleolithic period, and is sometimes referred to as the transition between the Paleolithic and the Mesolithic, and that's from 15,000 to 5,000 years ago in Europe. However, there is no consensus on this terminology, so the term Epipaleolithic can sometimes be interchangeable with the term Mesolithic, or it can just refer to the early Mesolithic. The ancestry of Europe mainly originates from Upper Paleolithic / Mesolithic hunter-gatherers, who can be divided into Eastern hunter-gatherers and Western hunter-gatherers, between Anatolian Neolithic farmers and those of Bronze Age related steppe ancestry. The steppe ancestry derives from the Yamnaya steppe pastorals, Western hunter-gatherers populations from different regions of Europe clustered together. They occupied a large area of Europe, ranging from the Atlantic coast to the Balkan Peninsula and Sicily in the south, for approximately 6,000 years. The Iboussieres25-1 man, together with Iboussieres39, clustered together with another 12 post-Ice Age individuals dated to between 14,180 and 7,320 years old, forming the Villa Bruna cluster that received its name from the 14,180-year-old human remains discovered in the Ripari Villa Bruna rock shelter in northern Italy. The Iboussieres individuals belong to the Azilian culture / industry. The Azilian culture represents the end of the Magdalenian culture and appeared in northern Spain and southern France. It's characterized by projectile point microliths, bone harpoons, and pebbles with abstract decorations. However, occasionally they engrave oryx or horses on stone tablets. The U5b2a mitochondrial haplogroup of Iboussières25-1 likely appeared in the Epipaleolithic period and is frequent in Central Europe, Poland, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic. His DNA haplogroup is J, the paternal line. It is the major lineage of Western Asia today. It appeared approximately 45,000 years ago, and it's widespread from the Atlantic coast of Europe to Western China in the east, southern India, and northern Africa. The archaeological site and lifestyle. The individual was discovered in a multiple burial structure inside a karstic cave system. It was discovered in 1991, along with 7 other individuals, 4 adults, 3 children, and 1 newborn. Excavations overseas by France's Regional Service of Archaeology revealed a vivid look into their lives. Their diet and subsistence, highly skilled hunter-gatherers who survived on large Ice Age steppe herbivores. The site yielded faunal remains of reindeer, wild horses, and bison. Material culture, an abundance of flint stone tools, including blades, scrapers, burins, and projectile points. Art and adornment. The burial environment was extraordinarily rich, featuring heavy usage of red ochre, carved bones, and extensive personal ornaments, like perforated red deer canine teeth beads. Recent advanced 3D paleoimaging on the skeletal remains of the last hunter-gatherers at Aven des Iboussières has revealed incredible medical insights. Researchers discovered bone lesions, specifically sacroiliac osteoarthritis and a thigh abscess that point to a probable cause of pelvic tuberculosis. It fully verified by molecular testing the individuals from this site will represent the earliest known evidence of tuberculosis infecting a human population in Europe. So the core grave goods and adornments were hundreds of marine shells, perforated animal teeth, massive quantities of red ochre, carved bone and antler artifacts, and high-quality flint weaponry. What these objects tell us, apparently, is long-distance trade networks. The presence of marine shells is highly significant. Malataverne is located deep inland along the Rhône River. Finding Mediterranean seashells proves that this Epipaleolithic group participated in expansive trade or migratory networks spanning hundreds of kilometres to the southern coast. Status and devotion. Sifting and piecing hundreds of fragile shells and animal teeth require immense hours of skilled labour. The fact that multiple individuals, including young children, received these rich adornments proves that status or community love was extended to all members regardless of age. Their clothing construction. Because these beads were found in structural clusters around the skeleton, they give archaeologists a rare, direct look at prehistoric fashion, showing that the people of the Rhône Basin wore heavily decorated, tailored animal skins or plant fibre textiles. The exact cause of death can't be determined. His bones show no trace of fatal trauma, lethal injuries, or distinct bone-altering diseases. The primary factors behind this mystery include no skeletal trauma. Unlike other prehistoric skeletons from nearby eras that exhibit clear signs of interpersonal violence, such as embedded flint projectile points or skull fractures, the bones of Iboussieres25-1 show no such markings. In ancient burials, diseases that affect only the soft tissue, such as acute infections, respiratory illnesses, or organ failures, leave absolutely no mark on the skeleton. Because he was buried in a tight-knit collective grave alongside 3 other adults and 5 young children, some archaeologists suspect a shared rapid cause of death. This could point towards a localized epidemic, harsh seasonal starvation, or accidental poisoning, none of which leave a trace on the bone. So how do I connect with this sample? So let's see. U5 and J1C3 connect through a shared ancestral maternal root called macrohaplogroup R. Every person living today with U5 or J1C3 mitochondrial DNA, that's the mother line, shares a single direct maternal ancestor, an ancient woman known genetically as the root of R, who lived approximately 55,000 to 65,000 years ago, most likely in South Asia or the Near East. The genetic family tree. To understand their connection, think of human mitochondrial lineages as branches grown out of a single tree trunk. U5 and J1C3 belong to 2 entirely different primary branches that split apart near the base of the tree. The shared trunk, haplogroup R, emerged around 60,000 years ago during the early migrations of anatomically modern humans out of Africa, and we both come from that R. The U5 branch, the R lineage split, and one branch mutated into haplogroup U around 30 to 35,000 years ago. U5 branched off and it became the dominant maternal line of European hunter-gatherers like Iboussieres25-1. The J1C3 branch, via JT, a different branch of R, mutated into haplogroup JT. This split further into haplogroup J around 30,000 years ago. Thousands of years later, the J1C subclade developed in the Near East, and eventually mutated into J1C3 during the transition of farming. So I've had a search to see if this sample that I matched with was related to the other ones that were found, and it says yes. Iboussieres25-1 was genetically related to the other skeletons found at the site in France, but only as part of the same close-knit genetic population, not as immediate members like parents, siblings, or children. The site, a karstic sinkhole in the Rhône Valley, dating to the very end of the Pleistocene and earliest Mesolithic period, yielded the highly fragmented and mixed remains of at least 9 individuals. When geneticists successfully sequenced the ancient DNA from these skeletons, they revealed several key insights regarding their relationship. The same ancestral cluster, Western hunter-gatherers, Iboussieres25-1 and the other sequenced individuals from the site belong to the exact same distinct genetic profile known as Western hunter-gatherers. Specifically, they cluster closely with the Villebruner genetic lineage, meaning they shared a highly uniform, overarching genetic ancestry native to post-Ice Age Europe. Divergent maternal and paternal lineages. While they belonged to the same localized gene pool, they were not immediate first-degree relatives. We know this because the individuals carried different haplogroups. The Y DNA, the father group, the males at the site carried different branches of ancient European hunter-gatherer lineages, specifically I2 and R1. The MT DNA, the maternal, they also possess distinct sublineages of macrohaplogroup U5, the exact maternal group discussed that matches mine, going way back in ancestry. So the genetic variance among the skeletons at Iboussieres aligns with what scientists observed across other Mesolithic European hunter-gatherer burial sites. These small communities deliberately practice exogamy, meaning they routinely exchanged mating partners with neighbouring bands. By bringing in partners from other nearby groups, they successfully avoided inbreeding. Therefore, while Iboussieres25-1 shared a communal burial, a shared culture, and a deeply intertwined regional ancestry with the other skeletons, they functioned as a tribe or an extended clan rather than an immediate biological family. And next, I'm looking up as a Mesolithic 1 Scandinavian fisherwoman in Norway. I share 0.94% of my DNA, and apparently I'm genetically closer to this sample than 23.4% of Genome Link users.